Hello, you're watching the 18 WJTS News. I'm Joy Holt. In top stories around the area, Greater Jasper Consolidated School officials saw ground broke today, leading the way for the new construction of the future Jasper Elementary School. The city of Jasper is partnering with the Indiana University School of Public and Environment Affairs for a summer graduate capstone project, and a new conservationist has joined the Dubois County Soil and Water Conservation District. All that and more local news coming up right here on 18 WJTS. In our first story tonight, officials and board members of the Greater Jasper Consolidated School Corporation officially broke ground this morning on the newly planned Jasper Elementary School. The new facility will be located along North Portersville Road on land located just north of the Jasper Middle School. The 111,000 square foot elementary school will be home to about 850 pre-kindergarten to 5th grade students from 5th Street and 10th Street elementary schools. Greater Jasper Superintendent Dr. Tracy Lorai says now that the ground has been broken on the new facility, school officials are ready to move forward with construction.
We're very excited about moving forward with the project. It's been a lot of effort to get us to this point, and at the end of the day we'll be very excited to enter into the new school in the fall of 2020, and our students will have a school that's safe, efficient, and ready for the future.
As Lorai mentioned, the new school is expected to be ready for the beginning of the 2020-2021 school year. Greater Jasper School Board President Bernie Vogler says the idea of constructing a new combined elementary school was conceived after the Greater Jasper School Board learned from a study that it would cost nearly $20 million in necessary repairs to fix 5th Street School and 10th Street elementary schools. Vogler says planning for the new facility has come a long way and noted that it was the right time and idea to build new.
And we got by doing extraordinary things in those two buildings, and the staff, led by those principals, did that. And so over time, when the tax rate would be right, we decided to go ahead. Now, we could have used those two buildings and spent almost as much money as we're spending here, but it just seemed to be right. We have this land here paid for, and so it seemed to be the right thing to do, to mix those two schools together where we would have K through 5 in one building, and then the staff can make that function a whole lot better than it does now.
School officials and board members were joined by students, faculty, and staff from both 5th Street and 10th Street elementary schools, as well as representatives from the Steptonagle Group and various companies involved with the school's construction. The Indiana University School of Public Environment Affairs has teamed with the city of Jasper for a summer graduate capstone project. Capstone courses are intended to address topics that integrate public policy, management, and science and technology in an interdisciplinary framework. The class will involve a group project or case study that requires students from around the world with very different backgrounds and skills to work together in a collaborative learning format. Community Development and Planning Director Darla Blasey says that she is always interested to receive outside perspectives on the city and is looking forward to the ideas and recommendations generated from the group of students on the city's key redevelopment areas. Past classes have assisted Mitchell, Ellettsville, Bedford, South Bend, Bloomington, and other Indiana communities in planning and development initiatives. The class will focus on technical assistance for Jasper, producing 4 outcomes which will be utilized in the city's upcoming comprehensive planning effort, including evaluations of a mixed-use neighborhood near downtown and a public-private partnership options, along with a downtown riverfront activation plan and recommendations for future development projects and project cost projections, along with funding options to implement recommendations. Recommendations will be presented publicly Tuesday, July 24th at 6:30 p.m. in the council chambers at Jasper City Hall. The Dubois County Soil and Water Conservation District announced Arthur Frank has joined the organization as the new Detailed District Conservationist. Frank is a LaGrange County native and a Purdue graduate. At Purdue, he studied agronomy, crop and soil science, natural resources, forestry, and environmental studies. A Detailed District Conservationist, Frank will be stationed at the Jasper NRCS office for 120 days starting this month and continuing into September. You can contact Arthur Frank with any questions regarding conservation practice concerns at 812-482-1171. Jasper-based Kimball Electronics has announced plans to acquire California-based GES Holdings, Global Equipment Services and Manufacturing, and its subsidiaries. Kimball says the $50 million deal is expected to close in the first quarter of the company's 2009 fiscal year. GES specializes in production processing and test equipment design, volume manufacturing, and global services for the semiconductor and electronics product manufacturing industry. The company has operations in the U.S., China, India, Japan, and Vietnam. Donald Sharon, Chief Executive Officer of Kimball Electronics, says the acquisition is a significant step in the company's new platform strategy and their plans to continue their development beyond EMS to a multifaceted manufacturing solutions company. Kimball says it will not only acquire the assets of GES, but it will also assume certain liabilities, though a specific dollar figure was not released. The acquisition remains subject to regulatory and government approvals as well as customary closing conditions. The Jasper's Farmers Market will begin the 2018 season this coming Saturday, May 26th, on the green north of the Jasper Train Depot, with some new hours between 8 a.m. until 12 noon. The market began its mission in 2005 with the purpose to provide a source of income to local producers, fresh and local produce to customers, and a gathering place to create and develop a greater sense of community. This would not be possible without the support and sponsorship of the Greater Downtown Jasper Business Association, the City of Jasper, and the Jasper Chamber of Commerce. New vendors are welcome to participate any Saturday. The first Saturday of every month will continue to be reserved for the youth market, where children 12 and under can participate free of charge. The Jasper Farmers Market relies on the honesty and integrity of each vendor to sustain the market spirit and become a good neighbor. A Mount Vernon man was arrested this weekend after he allegedly shot his wife. 48-year-old Rodney Givens was arrested Sunday morning by Indiana State Police detectives. According to detectives with the state police, Givens and his wife were involved in an argument early Sunday morning when he allegedly grabbed a handgun and shot her one time. Crystal Givens, Rodney Givens' wife, was treated for a non-life-threatening gunshot wound at Deaconess Hospital in Evansville. Rodney Givens was arrested without incident and taken to the Posey County Jail, where he is currently being held without bond. He is facing a charge of criminal recklessness with a deadly weapon and a charge of aggravated battery. An investigation continues into the incident. And state police are investigating the discovery of a body that was found over the weekend by ATV riders near Blue River in Washington County. State police say two men were riding four-wheelers near Blue River in Washington County, just southeast of Salem, when they noticed a body in the water and a parked vehicle on the bank of the river. Washington County deputies responded to the area and set up a crime scene. Detectives and crime scene investigators from the Indiana State Police Post at Sellersburg were then requested to assist in the investigation. An autopsy was performed Sunday morning, positively identifying the body as 31-year-old Christina Collins from East Noland Road, New Pekin, Indiana. The autopsy showed no signs of a struggle, drowning, or trauma, and a cause of death was not determined. However, toxicology results are pending and could take up to 6 weeks to be completed. Investigators believe Christina Collins had been deceased and in the water since Thursday evening of last week. Police said with the findings in the investigation so far, detectives do not believe foul play is involved. It was determined the last person in possession of the vehicle located at the scene was Christina Collins herself. The investigation is continuing. That's been a look at news. Stay tuned. Up next is your local weather and forecast.